road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so, e no dey. Light o, usai. The infrastructure nko, e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, quell everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Atn. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings right.
Welcome to a fresh episode of Atn Business on Atlantic Television Network, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. This is the network's medium of bringing the happenings in the economic sector of our society to our discerning viewers. This program is aimed at bringing to the doorstep of viewers the business, financial, and economic activities from all strata of society. Its deliveries are centered through the various stock exchanges across the world, news about government economic activities, private sector business activities, laced with expert opinions, stakeholders analysis, and correspondence reports. The headlines. Rivers State analyst advises federal government to engage communities in pipeline surveillance. Minister says Nigerians enjoy cheapest electricity tariff in Africa. And in the global market, bearish trends persist in Asian shares. In technology, Apple partners OpenAI launches Apple Intelligence. By the end of this show, you can be rest assured of being informed accurately of financial activities around the world. I am your host for today, Susan Abbey. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll reel out the details. Stay tuned.
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask, oh?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so, e no dey. Light o, usai. The infrastructure nko, e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, quell everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Atn. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't call.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
That behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the Marketer Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back, and now let's go into market reports, local and international business news for today. Analysts has advised the federal government to engage community leaders in pipeline surveillance to support government to tackle crude oil theft. Speaking on Atlantic Television Blowout, a socio-political analyst, Magnus Edor, said by engaging well-meaning community heads in surveillance against illegal crude oil refining, this will bring timely and intelligent information for immediate response by authorities against pipeline thieves.
Engaging the communities, owners of the land into the surveillance job, because you cannot be coming to my community to do a kind of surveillance job and I'm not involved directly, not when there is problem. You know, the first target are always traditional institutions. The first target, if there is problem, you will see they will call the chiefs. But when there is money, they will not call anybody. They will not call the chiefs. They should do more, work directly with community leaders. This will save them from all these ones they are just showing us. And again, more of destroying the camp is another thing that needs international best practices, because look at the amount of crude already stolen. Okay, the means of destroying it, they are also going to burn it. If they burn it, they are also destroying what we have prevented. The land will be destroyed, the environment will be polluted more. So these are things that they need experts. This
is coming after the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps arrested 9 suspects for engaging in illegal oil activities in a forest boundary between Rivers and Abia. Senate has passed the Niger Delta Development Commission budget of 1.911 trillion naira as its 2024 aggregate expenditure. The passage of the budget followed the presentation of the report of the Senate Committee on NDDC, headed by Senator Asuko Ekpeyong. The NDDC budget is expected to be funded through contributions from oil companies, proceeds accruing to the Ecological Fund, and federal government contribution. According to the proposal, the agency proposed to borrow 1 trillion naira, as federal government will contribute 324.8 billion naira. The Ecological Fund, 25 billion naira, while oil companies' contributions will contribute 375 billion naira.
Committee recommended as follows: that the revenue profile for the Commission for the year 2024 is as follows. Revenue brought forward, 12 billion. Federal government contribution, 324,844,833,046 naira. Federal government contribution in essence unpaid arrears by federal government and recoveries by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, 170 billion. All companies' contribution and Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited and others, 375 billion. Ecological funds, 25 billion. Borrowings, 1 trillion. Other internally realized income, 5 billion. Total revenue, 1,911,844,833,046 naira. Prayers that the Senate do consider and approve the year 2024 budget proposal for the Niger Delta Development Commission in the sum of 1 trillion.
Senator Adamu Aliero queried the efforts of NDDC to borrow 1 trillion naira without due process. The lawmakers, however, decried the poor infrastructural development in the Niger Delta region, which he said does not represent the huge funds invested in the areas over the years. In their contributions, Senator Adams Oshiomhole and his Niger Delta counterparts, Seriake Dixon, said things have changed in the NDDC and explained that the NDDC could write to the Senate for borrowing after the budget has been passed into law, urging lawmakers not to judge the NDDC by its dirty past.
NNDC is a child of necessity. We must do all we can to ensure that the money that is given to NNDC is used judiciously and prudently. And if we do so, it will change the fortune of that area. I know we have 9 states, but if this money is used annually, we do approve close to about 2 trillion naira to NNDC. That is more than a budget of 2 states. But, Mr. President, I'm afraid to say that we have not seen much progress, and a lot of people are saying so. And I believe the committee on NDDC has to do their job by regularly doing oversight so that they will ensure that whatever money is approved by the National Assembly is properly utilized.
We write as necessary to ask the Senate to approve a borrowing plan, not the other way around. You don't borrow without stating the purpose. So when we have passed the bill, which says that part of the money will be borrowed, in my view and from my limited experiences I've been here, we can, when the President so requests, consider the request to borrow 1 billion or 1 trillion naira. I don't see fundamental contradiction.
After the consideration reports by the Committee of Supply, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, called for a vote and the budget was passed into law. Senate has passed the 2024 supplementary bill of 98.5 billion naira for the Federal Capital Territory Administration. The budget approval followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on FCT. Correspondent Rotimi Adewiyi reports. High Court of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja has received the approval of former President Muhammadu Buhari for the redesign of the Nigeria's currency, tendered and admitted as exhibit before the court. The approval, dated October 6, 2022, from the State House and personally signed by the former president, and was conveyed to the Central Bank of Nigeria under Godwin Emefiele as governor to proceed with the project of redesigning and printing of the currency. The Chief of Staff to President Buhari was said to have transmitted the written presidential approval to the CBN, while also tendered and admitted as exhibits as samples of the redesigned currency as approved by Buhari, and the documents were tendered by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission through its witness and former Director of Currency Operations at the Central Bank of Nigeria, Ahmed Bello Umar. The witness was led in evidence by EFCC's lead counsel, Rotimi Oyedepo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, while Umar, who claimed to have authored some memories in relation to the project, revealed that Emefiele partly departed from the approval of the former president. Among others, the witness said that while the portraits of the samples endorsed by Buhari were on the right side, those printed have the portraits on the left side, while the former Director of Currency Operations at the CBN also claimed that the numbering styles for the currency adopted by Emefiele were different from the modes adopted by CBN under Emefiele. Former Central Bank of Nigeria Director of Currency Operations Ahmed Umar says the immediate past governor, Godwin Emefiele, printed his own design of the naira. Umar disclosed this while giving evidence at the Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Maitama. The former CBN director said the features in the design approved by former President Muhammadu Buhari was different from the one Emefiele ordered to be printed. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had on May 15 arraigned Emefiele on a 4-count charge before Justice Marian Aneni of the FCT High Court. Emefiele, however, denied the charge and was admitted to bail in the sum of 300 million naira. Analysts have tasked the Nigeria Labour Congress on professionalism in its approach with the government on the demand for a new minimum wage. Speaking on Atlantic Television Society Watch, Emmanuel Nweke stressed on the need for NLC to be steadfast with the government as they hold the support and mandate of the Nigerian populace, as well as considering the looming economic hardship.
If, like the people you are presenting your matter to, leaves a lot to be desired. Now, if you are presenting money, amount to pay to be paid you, to your employer, in this case government, this is a very different employer, because these are people who we have trusted to hold our money on our behalf, to manage our resources. Do you understand? So why you accept our employer, you should also know that you have a portion of our trust, like you manage our resources well.
Okay.
Now, having a
This is coming after the organized labor considers 250,000 naira the minimum acceptable living wage and allegedly accused the government of ignoring the realities of the current economic climate. The unions are urging the government to fast-track the legislative process for a new minimum wage as Tuesday deadline looms. We're open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly Twitter Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website atlanticnetwork.tv. Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited has denied reports that it inflated the subsidy on premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, by 3.3 trillion naira during the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. It argued that its subsidy claims were verifiable, stressing that all relevant records in subsidy had been sent to the agencies in charge. A statement issued by its spokesperson Olufemi Soneye also said it was not aware of any planned audit of its account, while the NNPC notes with dismay a report in a section of the media alleging that it inflated subsidy claims by 3.3 trillion naira and wishes to state that NNPC conducts its business transparently in keeping with international best practices and has at no time inflated its subsidy claims with the federal government. NNPC said it will resist any attempts to drag the company into the apparent politics of fuel subsidy as it currently operates on a commercial basis and the express provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act, adding that it is on record that in line with its transparency, accountability and performance excellence mantra, NNPC has on several occasions independently invited external auditors to review its books. Federal government has raised the alarm over the renewed smuggling of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, following the massive hike in the pump price of the commodity in neighboring countries. It said the average price of petrol in Nigeria was about 701 naira per liter. The average cost of the product in neighboring countries was 1,787 naira per liter, a development that heightened PMS smuggling out of Nigeria in the past 2 weeks. The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, who disclosed this at a press conference in Yola, said the Nigerian Customs Service had to join forces with the Office of the National Security Advisor to tackle the menace. Adeniyi said credible intelligence and activities around border areas corroborated the suspicions. Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says Nigeria enjoys cheaper electricity tariffs in sub-Saharan Africa. Adelabu will disclose this in Abuja at a public hearing organized by the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Power, National Planning and Delegated Legislation said the introduction of Band A with a higher tariff reduced electricity subsidies to 1 trillion naira from about 3 trillion naira. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, said Nigeria enjoys cheaper electricity tariffs in sub-Saharan Africa. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, voiced serious concerns about the detrimental effects of the recent surge in electricity tariffs, which had led to the closure of more than 300 companies and the loss of 380,000 jobs within the past 2 months. Speaking on behalf of MAN in Abuja during an investigative hearing organized by the Joint Committees on Power, Commerce, National Planning and Economic Development and Delegated Legislations, Senator Ahmed Abdul Kadir highlighted that electricity-related expenses account for approximately 40% of the production overhead for manufacturing concerns. He emphasized the urgent need for the government to address the escalating insecurity, as the high cost of doing business fueled by the substantial hike in electricity tariffs could lead to further workforce disengagement. Abdul Kadir revealed a stark example of a company that, despite previously employing around 360,000 workers, has drastically downsized its workforce to about 5,000 due to prevailing economic realities. He clarified that MAN was only aware of an initial hearing held in 2023 regarding a 40% increase in electricity tariff rates rather than the astronomical increase of over 200% aimed at 15% of the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission's customers, including major stakeholders in the Nigerian economy, as is now being implemented now. He contested NERC's assertion, stating that the supplementary order issued on April 3, 2024, which raised the electricity tariff from 68 naira to 225 naira per kilowatt hour, was not properly communicated to the public. Abdul Kadir also accused the distribution companies of failing to comply with consumer consultation guidelines before applying for the tariff increase. In response, Minister of Power, Mr. Adebayo Adelabu, disclosed that the introduction of Band A, which imposes higher tariffs and reduced electricity subsidies to 1 trillion naira from approximately 3 trillion naira. Adelabu justified the tariff hike, stating that without it, the subsidy would have ballooned to around 3 trillion naira, an unsustainable figure for the government. Presenting NERC's position, Mr. Sanusi Garuba revealed that energy invoices submitted by the discos amounted to 260 billion naira per month, while the generation companies paid only 20 billion naira. He attributed the increase in electricity tariffs to changes in the government's economic policy, including the removal of fuel subsidies and fluctuations in foreign exchange rates. Expressing concern over the tariff hike, Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, represented by Deputy Speaker Honorable Benjamin Kalu, acknowledged the widespread opposition to the decision, including from organized labor and industry experts. He echoed fears that the sharp increase in electricity tariffs would exacerbate economic hardships, potentially leading to higher operational costs for businesses and increased prices for goods and services. Chairman of the House Committee on Power, Honorable Victor Nwokolo, explained that the committee was established following a resolution of the House to investigate the circumstances and rationale behind the recent tariff review by NERC. He cited complaints about the lack of consultation and the failure to deliver the promised 20 hours of electricity supply to affected customers. You are watching Atn Business on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break. Stay tuned.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old since. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap am.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer na house, I supposed pay that one. You remember say me I tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy na.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? We they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert am. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Atn Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
Your electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you no good now. You don't you said you don't behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Full light. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something. Thing will corrupt. And something come backfire now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
I agree to you.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Atn Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, they very soft.
Madam, wallahi make I no buy am. Make I show you something. What? What in be this one? Madam, this one na the chemical where they put am for the plantain make I ripe am.
So you dey put chemical for plantain people chop?
Now water, no be chemical.
Madam, water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and no be enemy. Drink am.
Where I collect that water, drink am.
I just stop finish. See my belly. It don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Make your drink am now. At the sell plantain I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That's why I talk now. Corruption. No be for this kaswa. Come no be for this country. Na me talk am.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Atn Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
from Atlantic Television Network.
Frontline across the ocean to the land beyond mountains through the Sahara. We bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happening.
Welcome back to Atn Business on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Nigeria's debt servicing gulped about 2.2 billion naira in the first 5 months of this year. The latest data from the Central Bank of Nigeria have revealed. This is almost half of the $4.8 billion projected for the entire year by Fitch Ratings in a report that predicted Nigeria's external debts servicing would rise by $400 million to $5.2 billion next year. This is also despite the government's claims that it is focusing more on borrowing from the domestic market. According to the CBN international payments data, the federal government spent the highest on debt financing in May at $854.36 million, which is also the highest paid in a single month in the past year. This figure is about 297% higher than it spent on debt servicing in April and 286.49% higher from the $221.05 million the country spent in May 2023. In April, the debt servicing gulped $215.20 million, $276.16 million in March, $283.22 million in February, and $560.52 million in January. The entire amount is about 96.32% higher than what federal government spent on debt servicing within the same period in 2023, which stood at $1.12 billion. According to the FBN Quest research, Nigeria's external debt service payments increased by $1.1 billion to $3.5 billion in 2023, comprising $1.9 billion and $1.6 billion in market and non-market debt payments, respectively. Based on the 2024 budget, the federal government plans additional external borrowing of 1.8 trillion naira and another 1.1 trillion naira in loans from concessional lenders. Towing a similar path as Fitch Ratings, FBN Quest anticipates a rise in external debt service payments due to the federal government's plan to raise loans from the commercial debt market this year and an expected increase in borrowings from concessional sources. Already, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has revealed that Nigeria will be getting some funds from the World Bank in a few weeks. A new report commissioned by the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ARCON, and funded by various industry associations, sheds light on the advertising sector's impact on the nation's gross domestic product, GDP. The reports conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers PwC reveals that the advertising industry contributes 605.2 billion naira to the GDP, with a multiplier effect ranging from 1 naira to 16.16 naira 5 kobo. It was presented to stakeholders at a media briefing in Lagos. Dr. Olalekan Fadolapo, ARCON's Director General, expressed optimism about the industry's recent advancement, including the launch of an audience measurement initiative. He thanked sectoral groups such as XMAN, AAAN, OAAN, MIPAN, and BON for funding the study. Dr. Fadolapo emphasized the importance of quantifying the industry's size and impact annually. The report underscores the advertising industry's crucial role in stimulating consumer demand, business expansion, employment, and innovation across sectors. ARCON is also set to hold an event on the Rebrand Nigeria project, along with other initiatives from the National Advertising Conference. Tunji Adeyinka, chairman of the National Advertising Conference, explained that the decision to engage PwC for the assessment stemmed from a gap identified during the 2022 conference. Dr. Femi Adelusi, chairman of the Multiplier Study Committee, presented the report's findings, highlighting the industry's significant economic impact. The study predicts continued growth, with marketing communications spending expected to reach 893 billion naira by 2028, contributing 1.08% to Nigeria's GDP. It identifies cable TV, digital media, and creative and content production as top contributors to marketing communications spend. Despite challenges like economic pressures and regulatory reforms, the industry's strengths include rising digital trends, partnership opportunities, and Nigeria's diverse markets. Key recommendations include setting measurable goals for GDP contribution and establishing a joint industry body for coordination. Industry stakeholders praised the study, recognizing the opportunities it presents for economic growth, innovation, and employment. With its potential to shape Nigeria's economic future, the market and communication sector is positioned to thrive and contribute significantly to the nation's development. The World Bank affirms Nigeria's 3.3% economic growth forecast for 2024, noting mild by macroeconomic adjustments. However, it's downgraded the 2025 forecast to 3.5% from 3.7% in January. Similarly, the Sub-Saharan economic growth forecast for 2024 was downgraded to 3.0% from 3.8%. The reports highlighted weak growth in Nigeria, South Africa, and Angola, while acknowledging a pickup in private sector activity in early 2024 due to a strengthening global economy. Despite this, many regional economies face challenges such as weak government balance sheets, low revenue collection, high debt service costs, and currency depreciations. In Nigeria, growth slowed to 2.9% in 2023, but showed mild buoyancy in early 2024. The forecast projected a pickup in SSA growth from 3.0% in 2023 to 3.5% in 2024, and approximately 4% annually in 2025 to 2026. The largest three economies in the region are expected to accelerate from 1.8% in 2023 to 2.4% in 2024 and an average of 2.6% in 2025 to 2026, though below the region's average growth. Non-resource-rich economies are predicted to maintain growth above their historical average, while resource-rich economies are expected to recover from slow growth in 2023, primarily due to declining metal prices. On Tuesday, the Nigerian equity market experienced a loss of 92.32 billion naira, primarily attributed to declines in National Salt Company, Thermos Wires Nigeria, May and Baka Nigeria, and 16 other stocks. This led to a decrease in market capitalization by 0.16%, closing at 56.36 trillion naira, and the all-share index at 99,630.51 points. Consequently, the year-to-date return dropped to 33.24% from 33.5%. Despite the market's downturn, market breadth remained positive, with 29 stocks advancing and 19 declining in 8,064 deals. Total Nigeria led the gainers with a 9.98% increase to 388.90 naira, followed by Presco rising by 9.97% to 323.30 naira, and UPDC leveraging a 9.92% gain to close trading at 1.33 naira. Conversely, National Salt Company, Thermos Wires Nigeria, and May and Baka Nigeria were the top decliners, with decreases of 9.91%, 9.66%, and 7.13% respectively, closing at 36.80 naira, 1.59 naira, and 5.60 naira. In terms of volume, Fidelity Bank traded 293.18 million shares in 340 deals, followed by Nigerian breweries exchanging 101.584 million shares in 145 deals. On Monday, the equity market had gained 323 billion naira, driven by appreciation in Flour Mills Nigeria, Total Nigeria, Access Holding, and 27 other stocks. Shares were mostly lower Wednesday in Asia ahead of a decision by the Federal Reserve on interest rates. In Japan, higher inflation and falling wages raised questions about how the central bank can navigate away from near-zero interest rates. The Bank of Japan will issue a policy decision on Friday. In March, it raised its benchmark rate from minus 0.1% to a range of 0 to 0.1%, the first such increase in 17 years. The government reported that producer prices rose 2.4% in May as the yen's weakness against the US dollar raises costs for import of fuel and manufacturing components. At the same time, the latest data showed real wages fell in April for the 25th straight month. The worry is that the Bank of Japan will be constrained from raising interest rates out of concern that higher prices will depress consumer spending, hurting the overall economy. Tokyo's Nikkei 225 index lost 0.6% to 38,899.44 Chinese shares also fell as the latest inflation data suggested persistent weakness in demand. The Hang Seng index in Hong Kong sank 1.5% to 17,913.10, while the Shanghai Composite Index was down less than 1 point to 3,027.41. Australia's S&P ASX 200 shed 0.6% to 7,710.90. In Bangkok, the SET edged 0.1% lower. Gains in technology shares pushed prices higher in South Korea, while the Kospi rose 0.5% to 2,718.86. And in Taiwan, whose stocks jumped 1.2%, trading was subdued on Tuesday on Wall Street ahead of a key inflation report and the Federal Reserve's policy decision. The S&P 500 rose 0.3% to 5,375.32, driven largely by gains in tech stocks. The tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite rose 0.9% to 17,343.55. Both indexes set record highs for the second straight day. Apple surged 7.3% after highlighting its push into artificial intelligence technology. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lagged the market. It slipped 120.62 points, or 0.3%, to 38,747.42. The key events for the market this week come on Wednesday, when the U.S. releases its latest update on inflation at the consumer level and the Federal Reserve announces its latest update on interest rates. The U.S. will also release its latest update on prices at the wholesale level on Thursday. Wall Street expects the government's consumer price index to remain unchanged at 3.4% in May. Inflation as measured by CPI is down sharply from its peak at 9.1% in 2022, but it has seemingly stalled at around 3%. That has complicated the Fed's goal of taming inflation back to its target rate of 2%. The Fed has held its main interest rate at its highest level in more than 2 decades, and Wall Street is currently hoping for 1 or 2 cuts to that rate this year. Virtually no one expects the Fed to move its main interest rates at its current meeting, which started Tuesday. Policymakers will be publishing their latest forecast on Wednesday for where they see interest rates and the economy heading. When Fed officials released their last projections in March, they indicated the typical member foresaw roughly 3 cuts to interest rates in 2024. That projection will almost certainly fall this time around. Data on the economy have come in mixed recently, and traders are hoping for a slowdown that stops short of a recession and is just right in magnitude. The economy has remained resilient with support from a strong jobs market and consumer spending. Consumers are becoming increasingly stressed, especially those with lower incomes, and retailers have been warning investors about the potential impacts to earnings and revenue. The U.S. jobs market has been showing some signs of cooling, which could ease inflation but put more stress on consumers. Afram Holdings climbed 11% on news that the buy now, pay later company will be integrated into Apple Pay. Paramount Global, the media company that owns the Paramount movie studio CBS, as well as several cable networks, dropped 7.8%, following reports that talks to merge the company with Skydance Media had fallen apart. In other trading early Wednesday, benchmark U.S. crude oil climbed 44 cents to $78.34 per barrel in electronic trading on the New York Mercantile Exchange. Brent crude, the international standard, was up 36 cents at $82.28 per barrel. The U.S. dollar rose to $157.23. Japanese yen from 157.14 yen. The euro slipped to $1.0738 from $1.0740. Gas prices are once again on the decline across the U.S., bringing some relief to drivers now paying a little less to fill up their tanks. The national average for gas prices on Monday stood around $3.44 according to AAA. That's about 9 cents from a week ago, marking the largest one-week drop recorded by the Motor Club so far in 2024. Monday's average was also more than 19 cents less than it was a month ago and over 14 cents below the level seen this time last year. There are a few factors contributing to today's falling gas prices. For starters, fewer people may be hitting the road. Demand is just kind of shallow, AAA spokesperson Andrew Gross said, pointing to trends seen last year and potential lingering impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Traditionally, pre-pandemic after Memorial Day, demand would start to pick up in the summertime, and we just don't see it anymore. Last week, data from Energy Information Administration showed that U.S. gasoline demand slipped about 8.94 million barrels per day. That might still sound like a lot, but before the pandemic, consumption could reach closer to 10 million barrels a day range at this time of the year, Gross noted. Beyond pandemic-specific impacts, experts note that high gas prices seen following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and persistent inflation may have led to many Americans modify their driving habits. Other contributing factors could be increased number of fuel-efficient cars, as well as electric vehicles on the road today, Gross said. Patrick Dehan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, noted that gas prices typically ease in early summer because of refinery capacity. At this time of the year, he said many factors boosting prices in late winter and early spring, particularly refinery maintenance, are no longer present. Once refinery maintenance is done, output or utilization of the nation's refineries goes up, and that contributes to rising supply, Dehan said. And that stronger supply paired with a weaker consumption has led to a bit more noticeable decline in prices this year. He added that U.S. refinery utilization is at some of its highest levels since the pandemic. If Tesla shareholders vote against restoring Elon Musk's $44.9 billion pay package Thursday, the CEO will deliver on threats to take artificial intelligence research to one of his other companies, or he could even walk away. If they approve the all-stock compensation package that was thrown out by a Delaware judge in January, it would almost guarantee the would remain at the company he grew to be the world leader in electric vehicles, shifting to AI and robotics, including autonomous vehicles, which Musk says is Tesla's future. Even with reapproval at Thursday's annual shareholders meeting, which many analysts says is likely, there would be uncertainty. Musk has threatened on X, his social media platform, to develop AI elsewhere if he doesn't get a 25% stake in Tesla. He owns about 13% now. Musk's AI recently received $6 billion in funding to develop artificial intelligence. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives said he expects the package to be overwhelmingly reapproved, ending a lot of uncertainty with Musk. This issue has been an overhang on Tesla stock, and this will be important to move this distraction in the rearview mirror, Ives wrote in a note to investors. Shares of Tesla Inc. have slumped more than 30% this year, with the company warning the notably lower sales growth in 2024. Also on the shareholder ballot is a related issue of moving the electric vehicle maker's legal home out of Delaware to Texas. The move is designed to escape from the Delaware court's oversight and possibly a ruling from Chancellor Kathleen St. Jude McCormick that invalidated Musk's pay package. In a general opinion on a shareholder lawsuit, the judge determined that Musk controlled the Tesla board and is not entitled to the landmark package once worth nearly $56 billion. Multiple institutional investors have come out against the sizable payouts, some citing falling vehicle sales, price cuts, and the tumbling Tesla stock price. Tesla's top 5 institutional shareholders, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Gerald Capital, and Capital Research, either said they don't announce their votes or wouldn't comment. They control about 17% of the votes. Apple says it has unveiled Apple Intelligence, its suite of new AI features for its coveted devices, and a partnership with OpenAI to catch up to rivals racing ahead on adopting the white hat technology. For months, pressure has been on Apple to persuade doubters on its AI strategy after Microsoft and Google rolled out productions in rapid-fire succession. But this latest move will take the experience of Apple products to new heights, Chief Executive Tim Cook said, as he opened an annual worldwide developers conference at the tech giant's headquarters in Silicon Valley, city of Cupertino, California. Apple has partnered with OpenAI, which ushered in a new era for generative artificial intelligence in 2022, with the arrival of ChatGPT, while Apple Intelligence will also be added to a new version of the iOS 18 operating system, similarly unveiled Monday at the week-long conference. Apple executives stress privacy safeguards have been built into Apple Intelligence to make its Siri digital assistant and other products smarter without pilfering user data. The big challenge for Apple has been how to infuse ChatGPT-style AI, which voraciously feeds off data into its products without weakening its heavily promoted user privacy and security. This is where we wrap it up on this edition of Atn Business on Atlantic Television Network, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. I am Susan Abbey. Thank you for watching. We are open for advert placements, bookings and commercials. Stay connected on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? We would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Atn Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody wants to send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
Your electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, abi? So you said you want join people where be say they no want